Hey everyone, welcome to the podcast. Bobby Tighe, George Blum here, on the scene of a property that he recently purchased. He's renovating, rebuilding an entire house here, doing a lot of work to the land, purchased a property just up the street, couple acres as well too. So spent the last few days working down here on your properties, getting them completely re-renovated, doing stuff to the land, all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Right here. So to get this podcast started off, wanted to talk about, from your point of view, George, the importance of somebody diversifying their portfolio, what that means to you and what you think is important about it.
Yeah, so, when I was thinking when we were down in Florida, we kept talking about, getting some properties in St. Augustine and Airbnbs down there. We already had a few in Jacksonville. We were doing really well with those. And just in terms of, having something kind of out of state, I was really interested in that. I grew up in West Virginia. I wanted to have something here eventually. And I saw some properties pop up, didn't like those, saw some other ones pop up. And then this one came available. And I'm like, this is the one. And what I really like about this property is property taxes, for one, are one of the lowest in the entire country. So I pay less than, my property taxes here in West Virginia are less than what I pay for 1 month in Florida. For the whole year here.
Interesting. It's very interesting.
So utilities are less expensive here as well. Property taxes.
I don't think a lot of people recognize that there are some states that have such low property taxes.
Right, and West Virginia is one of the lowest, and it's great. And what's great as well, this county that I'm in, because I'm outside of city limits in this area, I'm actually not required to pull any permits for any kind of construction, electrical, roofing, plumbing, anything like that. I'm a brand new HVAC. You change your meter box on your pole, you don't even need one, a permit. So that was one of the things that really intrigued me to work on this, because I knew that I wanted to do a lot of the work myself as well, in terms of designing, changing a few things, little things here and there. And I know if we were doing that in Jacksonville or St. Augustine or any kind of place within city limits, so to speak, the inspectors are going to be right up there, giving you fines.
A lot of hurdles you got to go through.
Oh yeah, I feel this just helps streamline the process.
Yeah,
and it's been going great. And I think once this property gets going, I think just the return on investment is gonna be
flow
huge.
And everything like that.
Cash flow, bills paid, and the goal is also with this kind of diversifying everything. Is didn't want to have all my eggs in one basket in Florida. I kind of wanted to fall back something. Something ever did happen to the market or something, and you needed a place to stay. I mean, pretty easy to live in a place when your property taxes, are $300-400 a year.
Right, absolutely. Talking about diversifying your portfolio, you've got stocks, cryptocurrency, cash, expensive land, cheap land. Now, if you come and you start getting cheap land, you're kind of hinting on some of those benefits. Go a little bit more into, the benefits of getting cheap land.
Yeah, what I really like about the land here versus, and like I said, location.
Yeah.
But some of the land here you can get for $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 an acre, on some pretty beautiful areas. Some forests and fields, things like that. Great places for development.
Right.
So I really like that option too. And just where we are in the country here, we're right adjacent from a state park. We're surrounded by forest.
Big river behind us.
Big river, old growth forest over there. So there's a lot of opportunity here in terms of construction and no zoning and things like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Contractor just headed out there.
Contractor just waved. He's heading out for the day.
Have a good day, sir.
Which leads us into building partnerships in real estate.
Right.
Talk to me, when you're developing land and you're growing properties, the importance of developing good relationships.
Oh yeah, 100%. And those relationships of different contractors when you're in the construction business doing this, are really key to your success. That's going to be super helpful. There's a lot of things that I don't know in the industry, and to really have those experts come in that know what they're doing, they're knowledgeable, they know how to get a job done, they have a good team and a good crew. Those are so important to have when you're in a project like this. And what I've learned from the beginning to now is that, I've made a lot of mistakes in the beginning. I hired some wrong contractors. It didn't work out. I lost some money. So it's really important to take your time, don't rush, do your due diligence in finding those right people for the right job, because at the end of the day, it makes a world of difference. And it really dictates what you can accomplish and what you cannot accomplish within a project.
Right, and I'm sure now if you were to go build another property, you've developed a whole lot of connections and relationships. You've learned a lot, so it'll be a much more streamlined process in the future.
Correct. I feel 100% more comfortable and confident moving forward on the next project. And it's because of the team and the crew that I've built within all the different contractors that I've been working with. We really all have a good working relationship together. What's great is the reliability. When I need something done, it's been getting done on time now. And what I was mentioning, it really takes time to find the right people to get the job done. Or you might get lucky and find the best one on the first try. I hope that happens. That didn't work out like that for me. And probably 5 or 6 different contractors and different tradesmen before I found the right ones. And the ones I have now, it's a little bit bigger outfit, so they're a bigger company, and they're about an hour and a half away. So it was a little difficult also getting them to take this job, even though they had to travel. So that was a little bit more expensive getting that. But now that I have these relationships with the contractors that's been working with me on this project and this job, I feel so much better on starting the other 5 acres that I purchased. And, we have another couple acres up here with a house on it that we're going to be remodeling as well in this area. So I feel a lot more comfortable having these guys, giving them what they need. They know what to do. They know, and they also know my style of construction and building. I'm really meticulous when it comes to certain things on what products we're using. And, all my mechanicals, I like everything done a certain way. So we actually have some really good plans that we use for this house that we can really just copy that and mimic it over at the new project, which will also help these guys because they've already done this exact same thing here. And it's going to be super beneficial.
The HVAC company, they helped they helped you out with a lot of stuff. Got some good content with them yesterday.
Yeah, we got the content done yesterday, and the majority of the HVAC stuff is from Carrier. Really good Infinity system that I have. Variable refrigerant flow system. I mean, the energy efficiency on my system, it's actually a ductless system. I won't go into much detail, but we can actually use it on the ducted system, which I'm using it for. So just energy efficiency
and performance.
Oh yeah, energy efficiency, performance on the house. So this is a high performance house. I don't want to say, hey, it's a passive house, but everything that we're doing is, to build a better, healthier, and better quality home. So that's
keep your bills lower, keep your bills low.
Right. And I would put this up against any house built in the state. For energy efficiency and quality.
In real estate, you have to understand risk. George, talk to me about what you were thinking when you got in this, knowing your level of risk and what you've learned through that.
Yeah. So when I first saw the house was listed for $1 million. Then it was listed for $499. And when I saw it listed for $499, I was like, let me just submit an offer and see what I can do. And I'll just say this: I got over $150, almost $200,000 less for that. So with the risk and reward versus this house, I knew that I wanted this house for myself as well, to have something as a vacation home. But I also was looking at it as, what, if I can make some money with this house and I have it cover some expenses and get some money back from the remodeling, that would be great. So I was definitely looking at it that it had potential to have an income as well. And for example, if I didn't think this house had any rental potential to where I was thinking it could be, I probably wouldn't have moved forward on this project. So risky, I definitely think it's a little risky because I'm purchasing a house out of state. I don't know any contractors. I know no one really in the area here to come work on the house. So in terms of that, I was kind of buying a piece of land in the middle of nowhere, and figuring it out along, as I went.
I think if I look at the Airbnbs I had in South Florida, the ones we had in Jacksonville, all of those, say something went wrong and I was stuck with the mortgage payments for multiple months straight and they couldn't rent. I didn't bite off more than I can chew. I was comfortable with the mortgage payments that I had. So it sounds like you kind of came into this, there was nothing in here that was going to really hurt you financially. You were
right. I did a big risk assessment. Now I did find the house online about 2 a.m. and buy it the next day. Went under contract the next day. However, I did look at things right away to see what I needed to do and what it would take to kind of do the house. And I was way under budget. I was thinking $75,000, maybe $100,000 to do this. But it's for what I'm doing and the high performance build that this is. It's a $200,000 remodel. $250,000 remodel.
3 floors, 3 stories. It's going to rent well. It's next to a
Right.
campground that has ideally during the summertime about 100% occupancy. So
Yeah, actually
there's
94.7 or something occupancy
right,
for last summer, which is
just
great.
very important metrics to know coming into
Right.
something.
And now that, yes, we know that is camping, you know, but we are in a state park,
yeah,
little under 3 acres, and just, you know, my bills also, that was a big thing for me too. You know, long term, I was thinking about in this, you know, I don't want to spend a bunch of money on bills and things like that. So that was one of the big
right,
things too that I wanted. I did everything as high performance as I could afford within my budget.
right,
And so that's just one of the things that I was taking into consideration. Yeah, it's costing me a lot of money up front, but in the long term, in 10 years, 15, 20 years,
right.
you know, this house is still going to be strong. I'm
It's
not,
going to
I'm
be an
not worried.
asset for you.
Right.
A nice
Yep.
asset for you. George, with what you've gone through so far in this project, you've gone through a lot of contractors, you've learned a lot. It's been going on for about a year. It's coming along well. It's looking great. Tell me, for others that might want to get into land development, remodeling a house, building their own house, what are some of your recommendations for others?
Yeah, so do your due diligence. That's really important. You know, cover all your bases. Make sure you know what you're getting into. And for me, I knew this is something that I really wanted. It's not just as strictly an investment property for me. It's something that, you know, I've always dreamed of having a place here in this area. My dad's farm's 15 minutes
Yeah.
away, so I wasn't necessarily saying, "Hey, I have to rent this out." I
Right.
definitely would like to rent that to, you know, recuperate some of the investment that I've already put in. However, when you're purchasing a property that you're looking for strictly investment, or maybe you want to enjoy a little bit, but the main reason you're getting this is to get some money, you know, do your due diligence, follow up, you know, with the surrounding area, especially if you're doing a remodel, you know, call and get multiple quotes from multiple different contractors to really get a good idea of
like
what
that
the project
advice.
will cost.
Yes.
It'll help give you oversight. You know, you might not even know that
Right.
much about construction, and you don't want to hire a general contractor and they come in here and give you some like off the wall crazy quote.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we definitely don't want that happening. So, you know, do your due diligence, follow up with contractors, spend time on checking with every single different contractor on detailed quotes of what that specific item would cost. Don't just say, "Hey, how much for a kitchen remodel?" and you get an invoice that says $20,000. You know, who knows
Right.
what that is. You know, really get those details outlined on those invoices, the contracts, those bids, to
Right.
really give you a general idea, and a really, obviously, you know, add 20% on there, but it
Yeah.
should give you a good idea of what that project is going to cost. And then also think, you know, for time frame, how long is that going to take? Because also your time is important and valuable to yourself. So, you know, is this going to take me, you know, 6 months to manage a project at another location with my own job that I have? So there's a lot of different things to take into consideration when doing a remodel. You know, zoning.
Yeah.
I'm not in a zoning area, which is great. I don't need permits for anything,
Yeah.
which is pretty wild. You know, I told my
Yeah.
buddies
Yeah.
that down in Florida, and believe me, they have to deal with it all the time pulling permits. So like having that available here lets me be a little more creative. And I don't want to say get away with things, but definitely makes it easier without inspectors, you know, breathing down your back, you know,
Right.
making sure you cross the right wire or something.
A lot of great information you've put out so far.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So question for you, Bobby,
Yeah.
on, you know, I know you're down in Jacksonville. We're working down there right now. How do you feel, you know, coming up? Would you feel comfortable getting something in this area after meeting the contractors moving forward for something like that? How do you feel in terms of, you know, because you got to meet a lot of the contractors yesterday, see their work, see their quality. So how do you feel? You know, I know you're kind of looking around as well. So do you feel comfortable looking around maybe a little bit more in depth, thinking about maybe putting in an offer if you find the right thing?
So if I came out to this area, I would definitely feel good about getting a nice piece of land, because I would consider it to be a very good land investment. Things you have mentioned, like lower regulations. You can do pretty much just about anything that you
Yeah.
want on the actual land. So if you're building a house, you can customize it how you want. You want to
That's
have a
right.
chicken farm, you want to develop some gardens or grow crops, you have the ability to do so.
Right.
And with that being said, you know, you have other things such as timber. You have a lot of rivers that run through here. I look at it as a very smart investment from the perspective of getting land, diversifying your portfolio,
Oh,
having
yeah.
a fallback place to go to. So
Right.
I feel very good about it out here. Met a lot of good contractors, like you said, as well too. So
Hopefully George gets a Bobby neighbor out here.
yeah, we'll absolutely see. And George, I mean, going through this whole podcast, a lot of useful information
Oh, yeah.
to anybody that wants to learn more about land development, real estate development. Both of our contact information is going to be down in the description on whatever platform you're watching or listening to this on. So definitely appreciate you having you on, George.
Appreciate it, man. Let's do it again.
Yes, sir. Nice. Nice.
Now that recorded.
You got to be kidding me.